and lit. Don't know where from.
Yeah, I don't see him.
Top of the tower, very top of that smoke.
I already know, trying to respawn you.
Did he die?
Oh, I don't have that nice. Woobis, do you have something?
No.
I mean, if we waste our time going after him, then he's done his job for the rest.
You can drive up there with your bike? What the fuck? Try to find some money east up here.
Okay.
One
Some
guy.
purple ground cover.
Hello, fellow Araxians. As you know, from way back when Planetside Arena was announced, I've been trying to figure out the play here by DBG. There's two options. You either push Planetside in a direction where it really is a spiritual successor to Planetside 2, and while maybe not enough so to be called Planetside 3, still invoking the feelings of large epic-scale battles that Planetside 2 offers in a newer, updated arena mode. Or the other direction to take it is say, hey, we're not even going to touch our Planetside 2 fan base. We're going to go full Battle Royale, and we're going to try to go compete with the big dogs, the biggest games out there, the PUBGs, the Fortnites, the Apex, which is just a massive segment of the gamer population. You don't need to win a lot of those players, but if you even win 1% of the players, you have a massive hit on your hand. Well, they didn't go the route of trying to ditch the Planetside 2 player base. They announced the game to them. They even went so far as the first time around, offering a free copy of the game to Planetside 2 subscribers. And they have also tried to appease some of Planetside 2 players by adding things like the Vanguard tank, trying to bring some of that combined arms gameplay to this Battle Royale. This creates a problem, though, that I predicted in one of my previous videos, as did everyone else and their mother and their brother and their cousin. You create a situation where your new title is forced to snipe players from your old title. A large portion of Planetside Arena's initial curiosity boost came directly at the expense of Planetside 2. In fact, this September was Planetside 2's worst month ever on Steam. And while there's certainly other titles that attributed to that, the Planetside Arena launch on Steam certainly pulled a lot of familiar names away from Planetside 2. All that being said, I think it is so awesome just how loyal the Planetside 2 fanbase is that Planetside Arena didn't put a bigger dent in Planetside 2. And that brings us to today's topic. The fact that Planetside 2 is a good game, but its only option for survival is to destroy Planetside 2. It cannot stand on its own 2 feet. I would have actually gone a step further in that title and called Planetside Arena a great game if it was released within 3 months of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds being released, when that title was still rough around the edges in its early throes of launch. I would call it a cut above PUBG at that point. It would have been better than H1Z1 at that point, and Fortnite and Apex Legends weren't around for comparison at that point. But now, in the current mature state of Battle Royale games, good is the best I can do for Planetside Arena. In that good rating heavily depends on my enjoyment of Planetside 2 gunplay, which is not going to be universal. The standard is set by Apex, Fortnite, and PUBG, not by Planetside. Now, Planetside Arena is relatively unknown, but it's not that no one's seen it. Steam database estimates that between 200,000 and 500,000 people have added it to their library. But even with that many people either trying it or showing some interest, the interest in the game, as gauged by concurrent player count, is tepid at best and abysmal at worst. It has certainly proven that it has no ability to compete with the other Battle Royales on the market. But it's a brand new release. The developers are absolutely going to have to show a reason they spent all this time on making it. So the only path for them to find a population for this game is to onboard Planetside fans. And you do that by creating a bundle. Put a bunch of crates in it. I don't think they have any skins they could use, but just crates should be enough. And you send out an email to every Planetside and Planetside 2 fan and said, thanks for being such a great supporter over all these years. Here is a veterans package for Planetside Arena to show our thanks, blah, 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 blah. Because that is the only way you're going to get a lot of Planetside people in to actually play this game, is give them something free. Give them they have to go to Steam and plug in a code. And it will at least get them to look at it. I mean, the other option is for someone to look at it and say, hey, this early access launch was our interest gauge, and we've obviously determined that not enough people are interested. Let's not throw good money after bad, and we're going to stop right now. But it's not really the developers who make that call. They keep working until the music stops. So for them, their prerogative is to go out and try to build a fan base for it until they're told they can't spend any more company resources working on that. So the next month or two will tell if they are willing to do that. Will they go out? And will they send codes out to all the Planetside 2 email addresses they have and make them an offer they can't refuse? Maybe even have a playtime component requirement to it. But Planetside 2 is coming up on its money-making phase. They're going to be selling anniversary bundles and Christmas bundles. Why would you want to try and yank players out of that game to support a new title when you're coming up on your earnings season for the game? But if you don't do that and let Planetside Arena carry on where it's getting 214 player max daily player counts, the game won't be able to make it until Christmas. We are just smack dab in the middle of that damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario that I talked about back in, may have been December at this point when I started covering Planetside Arena. By a wide margin, most Planetside 2 players that I've encouraged to play the game, like I dragged a bunch of my outfit members in to try it, or people that I bumped into in Planetside Arena that were Planetside 2 players, like the game. Even people that didn't think they would like it, liked the game. But still, even though people are pleasantly surprised, it is getting dismal player count. Why is that? Well, I've seen a few people say, well, it's because of all those veterans that review bombed the game at 0.1 hour played. And I find that absolutely hilarious. That amounts to maybe 400, maybe 500 reviews on Steam. If you think that is enough to generate a 214 max daily player count, you are delusional. A few people adding early negative reviews are not going to determine the trajectory of the game. There are far, far, far bigger problems that are causing the game to have such a low player count. Let's dive into a few of those right now, shall we? The biggest one, by a wide margin, is that loose end I left in my review video. Do you guys remember? Bring a pre-made or fuck off. I said we'd talk about it later, and we never did. So, we'll talk about it right now. Most of my time playing in the arena has been just hopping in a random queue, not being on a team. Because that's where the game has to shine to get a big player base. Anyone has to be able to walk up and play it and enjoy it. What you've been watching in the background here is not that. This is the night that my outfit decided to get together and try it out. And it was hilariously one-sided. And that is the general experience of Planetside Arena. You're going to be in a coordinated group that probably has a few good shooters, or ideally all good shooters. And you are going to absolutely wreck any group of randoms that is out there. Or the other option is you are going to join in an uncoordinated group. And you're going to get this dude, the dude that's been off on his own the entire match, and your whole team's dead, and there is a respawn bunker right there, and he's got all the nanites you need for the team to come back and have another crack at it. But no, he's going for those crates, because that's what's important. He dies 15 seconds later trying to duel someone with that decimator. Or you get this group. I just respawned a couple guys, and they can't think fast enough to escape that Vanguard, so then I gotta go revive one of them. And let's see what his big plan is when I get him up. We've got 2 teammates dead. I've already spent my nanites. And the respawn bunker's ready to go. Someone with nanites hit it again. White Scar or Mulvaney. Get the other 2 guys up. White Scar, do you have nanites? Mulvaney, do you have nanites? Dude, don't spend your nanites. Oh, come on, man. Well, my work is done here. Let's go see how quickly we can die out there. And I've seen a response in this sort of realm that, hey man, random groups are no problem, you just gotta carry. I got like 11 kills and carried my group to victory. Sure, Yes, that happens a lot, but that's when other pre-made groups aren't running. So yes, when there aren't other real pre-made groups going, and that's not a couple friends that joined up, meaning that there aren't other full teams that have built up, you're going to have fun queuing up alone playing with randoms as long as you only run into other groups that are playing with randoms, so everyone is equally discoordinated and discombobulated. But no one is carrying through skilled, full pre-made groups. So we are back to that whole thing where if you want to have reliable fun, it's bring a pre-made or fuck off. And that further pushes Daybreak Games into trying to recruit out of their existing Planetside 2 player base, especially targeting outfits, and onboarding those groups rather than trying to just advertise on Steam where sure, you'll get an individual that'll check it out, have a miserable time because their group's a disaster, and immediately leave. More of Planetside Arena has to kill Planetside 2 in order to survive. The next major problem for Planetside Arena is lack of player base begets lack of player base. Look, the Brig server carried on for years with only a few people and still had interesting enough fights because you just concentrate all the people at one fight and it keeps on going. In a battle royale though, if you don't have critical mass in the player population, it is just entirely screwed. Look, the Asia servers already might not exist. They're basically there to be a placebo to the European and North American servers, so those players feel like they don't have to play against the Asian players, even though matches don't start with any reasonable number of people on the Asian servers, so those players are playing on the North American and European servers anyways. But if they didn't have that button there, ooh, people would be mad. Anyways, so Asia servers already completely dead. For the rest of the time, you're basically forced to try to figure out if it's European prime time when you want to play or North American prime time when you want to play, no matter where you hail from. Because there aren't enough people in both zones. And this is exactly the reason we talked about earlier why they can't do first-person and third-person game modes, because they just don't have the population for it. They even had to delete one of their modes, Teams, just so they could focus all the limited amount of population they had in squads. But in doing that, you're further screwing your chances of success because then players are forced to go into squads mode, well, they will get wrecked by a pre-made. If you're up against a team of 3, you at least feel like you have a chance to nab 1 or 2 kills. But on like this one, for example, the match started with 26 people. 2 teams of 12 and my team of 2. No one on my team left this match. We started this way. I forgot to record it, but by the end of this match, it was 1 versus 7. My teammate had died, and I tried to hold off on throwing my orbital strike grenade to see if I could hilariously kill all of us. But I wasn't able to hold out till the circle was small enough, and believe it or not, I died in that 1 versus 8. All they had to do was stand in the middle and wait for the circle to force me to them. So, this dismal lack of population has really shown its effects. It forces us away from game modes that we want. It forces people from all over the world to play on the same server, so then you have ping problems. And it forces bad lobbies, bad matches. So anyone that does say, hey, I'm going to try Planetside Arena today, is utterly screwed. And then, let's say you are lucky enough to be one of the cool Planetside kids that does have a team you run with. Or maybe you went out and found a Planetside Arena outfit. Then you get to deal with this mess.
Okay, I guess I'm not fucking playing. My game crashed again.
Oh
my god.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Feldor.
Whatever.
Feldor, you're in here.
Fuck.
Are we really leaving? It's at 200 now.
Let me see. Yeah, we're gonna have to leave. We can do it. We can do it.
I see 12 people.
Yeah, hurry, kick out.
Just leave.
Hurry,
Okay.
hurry, back out. Hurry, back out.
Boys, come on.
Back out. Back out. Back out.
Back out, boys.
Feldor.
Get Abyss. I need you to leave the team. Feldor, get in here.
Guys, I'm probably gonna keep out of this next 2 games because I got a message. I got a friend that just messaged me. I gotta go visit.
Alright, who else is around?
Okay, we need one more.
Oh, this shit is waking me up, I tell you what.
Get a pipeline audio. Grab him. Get him in here quick.
Oh, did he leave?
Pipeline.
Pipeline, get in here quick. Someone invite him.
good.
We got full.
VTS.
Let's go.
Go.
Oh, okay. VTS joined.
All checks.
Okay.
We're
All
going.
checks.
We're going.
Go.
We did this 4 times in trying to get the 1 match going. This is one of those super underappreciated parts of Planetside. Ops start, you start a platoon, you get like 8 people going. Some people trickle in after they get out of work, or they get done with dinner, or they put the kids to bed, or they get the laundry finished. And then your group builds throughout the night, and then people just kind of fall out when they need to because they've got work in the morning, or they got to travel tomorrow, or yada yada yada. Not once is your action interrupted by people needing to join the group or leave the group. In Planetside Arena, I feel like when I'm doing pre-mades, I feel like I spend more time figuring out, okay, whose game crashed? Who needs to get reinvited? Are we backing out of this lobby? We need to get this guy in. Oh no, he's waiting for the next one. Why is he AFK? He's still stuck at his death screen. Why don't you have a white check mark? Holy crap, why aren't there Steam invites working? Why don't you try exiting the game? And then we can invite you there, and from the invite, then you can launch the game, and then you should be able to join the group, and that'll fix the bug. It is just a hilarious, catastrophic clusterfuck of trying to get the group together. And then what happens when the 13th member of your outfit shows up? Okay, now you've got to find a second leader, and you got to split up the group, but then both groups are handicapped because you've got 5 randoms in one of the groups and 6 randoms in the other group. So you make the best of it, and you try to invite the randoms to join your Discord or your TeamSpeak in a game that doesn't have text chat. For making a game that's supposed to be teamwork-oriented, outfit-friendly, they make it as painful as possible to try to get a group together and to invite people you bump into in a game to play with you. So anyways, guys, here we are, where we all knew we'd be. Rock in a hard place. They went for it. They did the arena thing. They have an ambitious year-long plan until their official launch. But we know from H1Z1 leaving beta and doing its launch that really has no effect. There's, again, another curiosity bump that immediately falls off. So PC is shot. That's done. Again, unless they go hard and they do Massive Clash and they just kill Planetside 2 by advertising Arena to its players, the PC opportunity is shot. So they're stuck at a point where they either got to cancel it, just say, hey, we tried, it didn't work, we're done. Or the pitch now is, hey, we go full console mode. Xbox, PS4, that gave them a huge boost to H1Z1, and that would be their pitch to the higher-ups and say, well, PC was really beta testing anyways. We don't care about those people. They have too many options, too many games to play, too much free to play. We'll go to console where they're all suckers and they'll spend money on just to get online play anyways. Just kidding, console people. Slight rid there. Love you too. And they won't be able to say it outright, but I'm sure some announcements will come in the next couple of months that will sort of guide us to what the play is right now. Either we'll get the emails where they're offering veteran packages to all the Planetside people, where they're really trying to dig in hard and onboard people to their new title. Or we'll get an announcement where PlayStation 4 beta testing is coming up all of a sudden, sooner than the original plan. Or it'll be the wrap it up announcement, which usually comes out in the form of people on Twitter letting everyone know that, hey, they're leaving the studio, they're moving on to the next opportunity. One of the other things I'm curious about in this whole thing is the lifetime memberships they sold a year ago. It's a nice big windfall of cash for the company when that deal is offered, but what it does then is it really cuts into the free cash flow you see from a title every month. So all those Planetside 2 players that used to spend every month or every 6 months to keep their membership going, that switched over to the Unlimited, now you don't see revenue from them every month. And a lot of this extended Planetside Arena development may have depended on some of that cash flow, that windfall they got back at the beginning of 2019. So as that sort of get used up, and it's apparent that Planetside Arena is not the vehicle that could recoup the investment, that could bring that money back in, put it back on the books, and we're in a situation where a lot of this Planetside 2 players no longer have to pay monthly. I don't know, it's one of those scary things where unless Planetside Arena figures something out, you're going to see it kind of drag other titles down with it. Not kill them, but handicap their ability to get real development done. The guy that decided to go the route of Planetside Arena may have to say, God, they just killed Planetside, I'm sorry. Time will tell. As for Planetside 2, fall has always been a monetization phase. They've got to get the bundles ready for the anniversary and for Christmas. And that also helps hit year-end goals, as well as the time when people are most willing to spend their money. And what amounts to actual content usually comes out in the spring. Kind of April, May is when we get the patch that is supposed to be the content patch. When we hear any more news on what the next content patch for Planetside 2 might be, I will pass it along right away. Anyways, that's all for now, fellow Araxians. As always, thanks for watching. And until next time, I will see you Planetside.